Good morning. Got one today for you. This is a kind of new one to me. I was just telling Michael that I have to have my cheat notes here where I can kind of keep up with what I'm saying. This takes place somewhere up in East Tennessee, one of the small towns. A couple lived there. The man was principal of the local elementary school. And he had a well-organized school, but they were short one teacher. They needed one teacher for the second grade that they didn't have. The teacher had retired, and the county was not having any luck finding a teacher for it. Like a lot of counties, the job didn't really pay that well, and they weren't getting a lot of applicants for the job. The lady gets, this is back before everyone had cars. This is in the days when most of the cars out there was things like A models and all. Most everybody traveled any distance, traveled by train. There was a railroad track that went through the little town where they lived, so it wasn't even trouble to travel by train. The wife gets a message from her mother in Savannah, Georgia, that she's had to take to bed. She's sick and she needs her to come and help look after her. Well, school is out, so she thinks, I'll go down and stay a couple of weeks, get Mama back on her feet, and I'll be back. And so she boards the train and makes her way to Savannah. It turns out her mother's sicker than she realized. She winds up staying about 3 months. Well, she tries to stay in touch with her husband, but the phones in those days weren't that great. And she wrote to him, and sometimes he would call her. He wasn't much hand at writing, but he would call her. And he tells her one day that they found us a teacher. That's a load off my mind. We will have the other second grade teacher. Well, who is she? Well, he tells the name. He said, you wouldn't know her. Said, she's from North Carolina. Very pretty young lady. I feel fortunate that we got her. And she seems to really be interested in teaching. So the lady's glad because that's a load off of his mind, she thinks. Well, the mother eventually gets somewhat better and is able to be up, so she decides it's time for her to go home. She packs her bags and rides the train back home. Her husband's not at the station to meet her, but she figures he's busy, one of her friends. This friend that meets her is kind of the gossip of the town. She keeps up with everything that's going on. She thinks, well, that's good. I'll find out what news there is around town here lately. And so while they're getting the bags together, she asked the friend, what news is there here around town? What's going on? Nothing. No news. Not anything. She said, there's not anything? You mean I've been gone 3 months and nothing's happened? Well, now, your dog died day before yesterday. My dog died? What happened? It's a young dog. What happened to it? Well, they seem to think maybe it ate too much of that burned horse meat. And maybe that's what caused it to die. Burned horse meat? Where did it get burned horse meat? Well, your horse was in the barn when it burned, and, well, it died in the fire. And it got partially burned. My barn burned? Yeah. Yeah, barn burned. It burned to the ground. What caused the barn to burn? Well, they think maybe it was sparks from your house that caused it. Sparks from my house? What do you mean? Well, your house burned that same night. My house burned? Yeah. How did my house burn? Well, they thought one of the candles turned over. I don't have candles. Well, somebody brought some and sat there around the coffin. Around the coffin? Whose coffin was it? Oh, your mother-in-law. My mother-in-law's dead? Yes. Yeah. And said, what happened to my mother-in-law? Well, they think it was the shock of when she found out that your husband had run away with a new school teacher. She said, okay. This goes to show you that the old saying, no news is good news, is not necessarily true.